Well, now that the presidential race is down to 3, the battle to raise cash is definitely on. The presumptive Republican nominee, Donald Trump, is holding a fundraiser in less than 3 hours in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, to help the state's governor, Chris Christie, recoup the losses from his own failed presidential campaign. And he's not the only one in the green today. Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton, at this moment, holding a fundraiser in Chicago after she hosted another one in Park Ridge, Illinois, just a few hours ago. So they're in full money-making mode here. But 2016 is about so much more than the race for the White House. 35 Senate seats hang in the balance, 34 Senate seats hang in the balance. We're joined by the man responsible for getting the Republican seats re-elected, the presidential candidate, right, Senator? Senator Wicker of Mississippi joins us now. Good to see you, sir.
Glad to be with you.
Well, you look at the challenge you have, and to be fair and balanced, we should immediately tell our viewers we reached out to your Democratic counterpart, Senator Jon Tester. We do hope to have him on soon. He is welcome anytime, was not available today. But Senator Wicker, this is a big challenge, and Donald Trump's doing his thing. But you've got a bunch of senators who are going to be challenged in very tough races, and they need coin, don't they? How are you going to do it?
Well, we've been raising money all along, and we're doing pretty well. Let me just tell you, 6 years ago, when this cycle was elected, we won 24 seats. The Democrats only won 10. Well, that means we have 24 seats to defend, and we're happy to have that challenge because we think we have excellent incumbents who have a good record of delivery for their states and their constituencies. So I feel good about the fundraising, and I feel good about the quality of our incumbent candidates, and there are a couple of states where we think we will replace Democratic senators with Republicans this year. All
right, well, let's get to Ohio. This is a key battleground state, both for the presidency and certainly for the Senate situation. Rob Portman would love to continue holding that seat. You know, he's a Republican, but a Democratic group has secured, what, about $50 million to aiding his competitor, Ted Strickland, the former governor. Ted Strickland, listen, I've covered him too. He beat Bob Taft with 60% of the vote in 2006. Yes, he got beaten by John Kasich, but by a narrow margin. How are you going to win this one?
Well, normally the rule has been in those Midwestern states, if a governor's doing a pretty good job, he gets a second term. In Ohio, the voters decided that Ted Strickland had not done a good job as a trustee in the governor's office, and so they replaced him with John Kasich. I think his failed record as governor is going to compare very poorly to the stellar record of Rob Portman. So I think in terms of the quality of the candidates, our guy Portman comes out a lot better. And yes, the national Democrat liberal special interest money is going to flood into Ohio in a torrent.
Absolutely.
And we're going to have to be ready to combat that. Yes.
So here comes the big question, Senator. You know, sometimes a sitting president or somebody who's running for president is a boon to a candidate of the same party. Will you be asking Donald Trump to show up for certain Senate races? And I say this because you and I both know that there are some Republicans with a lot of money who are not ready to endorse him. They don't love him because it took him flip-flopping parties a couple of times before he declared himself a Republican in 2012. Some of them don't believe it. So will you just kind of let him do his thing for the presidency and figure out ways like getting the Koch brothers money to help others?
Well, you know, we appreciate what the Koch brothers might be doing in their super PAC. But the question about Trump is this: will he be a drag from the top of the ticket on some of our Senate candidates? I really think in the recent polls, we saw the Fox poll yesterday, it shows Donald Trump leading nationally by 3 points. I don't think that question is going to be asked as much in the future as what is the enthusiasm gap on the part of Hillary Clinton. She keeps marching toward the nomination, but she just doesn't seem to be able to win any primaries.
It would be helpful, at least in depending on the state, because in some of the states where Republican senators are trying to win here, these are states that twice went for Barack Obama. Now, there could be a disappointment factor after 8 years. You know, that's a possibility. But will you start to think to yourself, wow, that Fox poll shows us maybe Donald Trump would be a boon and not a drag?
I think that may very well be the conclusion that a lot of people are reaching. We think in Wisconsin, where we've lost that state, those electoral votes in a very close race in recent cycles, we think we have a real good chance to win with Donald Trump there. Pennsylvania, as you saw, Donald Trump is leading. We're close to New Hampshire. We're close in Ohio, which you've already asked about. So I really don't think that drag is going to be there. And I do go back to this enthusiasm gap when Bernie Sanders and his supporters realize they're not going to be able to get the nomination, even though they've won primary after primary. I think many of them are going to sit home, and those are votes that the Democratic Senate candidates are not going to have in the general election.
We shall see. It's a possibility. Senator, thank you. Senator Roger Wicker.
And a lot of work to be done.
I know, and a lot of money, which turns some people's stomachs. They feel like, do you really have to have that much money to win a race to help the people? But it is what it is. By the way, once again, Senator Tester on the Democratic side is always welcome on this program. He is the counterpart to what Senator Wicker does, and that is raising money to help other candidates on the down ballot win.